Welcome back to another 40th anniversary posting of my G.I. Joe collection. For the past few months, I've been posting these daily on my social media. This is a compilation of my Series 4 figures and vehicles. These figures are in varying states and some have a lot of wear and tear on them, some also have their accessories and some do not. With all that being said, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and by all means leave some stories in the comments if you had some of these figures. Thank you and enjoy. Here is Missile Specialist, codename Bazooka, part of Series 4 from 1985. This is definitely not my original. My original was long gone. In the 80s, when these broke, that was it. They got tossed or you had a Tiny Joe graveyard. A friend gave this one to me, and he was still in great condition. I am thankful that I get to have original Bazooka back in my possession again. And with his helmet. Here is AWE Striker Driver, codename Crankcase, part of Series 4 from 1985. After I was able to remove Major Blood's screw and rubber band, I knew I had a bag of random Joes that needed saving. Crankcase was one of them. I had all his parts, he just needed a knee replacement. This guy was part of an auction, and he immediately went into the crap bin because he was broken and I didn't have the tools to fix him at the time. But now I have all the tools, so Crankcase can get back up on his feet with a nice new knee replacement. Here is Cobra Frogman, codename Eels, part of Series 4 from 1985. I definitely had one of these growing up and he probably got destroyed at some point. I got a couple of these from different places. Unfortunately, don't have any accessories for either of them, and the second one doesn't even have a waist piece. But I always enjoyed playing with this guy. This guy always seemed pretty cool to me, so he was always in the front line fighting against Joe in my battles.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Here is Warrant Officer, codename Flint, part of Series 4 from 1985. Flint was a staple in most kids' collections, and as you can see, mine was heavily played with. I'm surprised I don't have any of his accessories. I was usually pretty good about keeping track of them. Since I didn't have Duke growing up, Flint was always put in charge of leading my battles. Here is Infantry Trooper, codename Footloose, part of Series 4 from 1985. As part of the auction with Wetsuit and Major Blood, I got Footloose. He didn't come with any accessories, but he's in really good condition. I didn't have him as a kid, so I don't really have any fond memories of him, but if you have some, or he was your favorite, let me know in the comments. Here is Snowcat Driver, codename Frostbite, part of Series 4 from 1985. I never had this figure growing up because he came with the Snowcat and I never was able to get my hands on one. But I do have one now, and it will be coming as part of this series, so once I do shoot that, I'll stick Frostbite right behind the steering wheel, right where he belongs.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
Here is Mauler MBT Tank Driver, codename Heavy Metal, part of Series 4 from 1985. This figure came with the Mauler MBT tank. I'm pretty sure I didn't have this growing up because I would have had this figure and the tank. But this guy came to me from a friend. He didn't see much battle clearly. I guess if you're driving the tank, you're not really getting banged around a lot, so that's why he's in such great condition. Here is Admiral, codename Keelhaul, part of Series 4 from 1985. This figure was not released separately. He came with the giant USS Flag aircraft carrier. Never in a million years would my parents have bought that for me. It is gigantic. It's over 7 feet long. There was no place for that in my house. I got this figure from a friend whose parents did buy him the aircraft carrier. It's definitely missing a lot of pieces. If you guys want to see that, leave a comment and I will try to make that happen. Here is Silent Weapons, codename Quick Kick, part of Series 4 from 1985. I love Quick Kick. He was one of my favorites. Unfortunately, mine was left back in probably 1986 or 1987 when it broke, and there was no way to fix it. My quick kick was gone, and I was forever sad. This one came to me from a friend, and unfortunately has a broken crotch piece, but I am so happy to have quick kick back in my collection. Here is Sailor, codename Shipwreck, part of Series 4 from 1985. We all know who this guy is. Shipwreck will be forever one of the most iconic Joes of all time. Look at the pose I got him in. Look at that swagger. I would love to have his parrot to go along with him, but that parrot was lost long ago.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Here is Cobra Polar Assault, codename Snow Serpent, part of Series 4 from 1985. I always loved this guy for some reason. The face mask and the helmet. He was definitely a mainstay of getting beaten up by my G.I. Joes. Sorry, Snow Serpent. You didn't stand a chance. But still a cool figure regardless. Here is Crimson Guard Commanders, codename Tomax and Zaymot, part of Series 4 from 1985. I love these two figures growing up. They also took a heavy beating by the Joe Army, but since they were twins, you only had to beat up on one, because the other one would feel his pain. These figures only came with 2 accessories, the gun and a sky hook for each. And I do have both of those, I just didn't put the grappling hook in there. I have newer released ones that are still on card that I'll put up here later on, so keep an eye out for that. Here is Cobra Hydrofoil, codename Moray, part of Series 4 from 1985. This was not one I had growing up. It was a Cobra vehicle, and I tended to steer clear of them, but it was also very big and probably not something my parents would have bought me. I really had no place to use this. This one came to me in an auction and is still in really good condition. It's missing a few guns and a bunch of the missiles, and definitely could be brought back to its former glory. Here is G.I. Joe Vehicle, codename Snowcat, part of Series 4 from 1985. I always loved this vehicle, but I was never able to have it as part of my roster. I got this one as part of an auction, and it's still in great condition. What I'm just realizing now is that back panel is not supposed to be yellow, it's supposed to be white. That came from a Tiger Cat version that was also in that same auction. So it's not complete, but Frostbite and Snowjob have a vehicle to ride in again. Here is Cobra Flight Pod, codename Trouble Bubble, part of Series 4 from 1985. I always wanted one of these growing up, and I could never get my hands on one. It's definitely missing some missiles and the lower machine gun and the jetpack on the back, but I have a Trouble Bubble. I can't really complain. I never got one as a kid, and I have one now, so I'm happy with that.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.